Hey, do you like weird movies? You do? Have you heard of Vinegar Syndrome? Find them online at www.vinegarsyndrome.com. Vinegar Syndrome is one of the leading exploitation and grindhouse preservation and distribution companies in the world. They've got a simple 3-step process that I call the 3 R's: recover, restore, and release. Vinegar Syndrome has an amazingly large film archive consisting of thousands of 35 and 16mm negatives and prints, and are actively finding films that are underappreciated, undervalued, and underseen. So many of their releases have never seen the light of day since VHS, and they're restoring them to all their glory. Some of these films do not have the right to look as good as they do, but they do. I'm looking at you, corpse grinders. Vinegar Syndrome has their own method of restoration where their goal is to recreate the theatrical experience as best as they can. With their own in-house lab, they scan, color grade, and restore each title personally. You'll never see any grain reduction and digital trickery on their discs. Vinegar Syndrome is a very exciting label, and we're proud to have them as a sponsor. They've been with us since the beginning, and we love them for it. Check out their website today and grab yourself a copy of Sweet Sweetback's badass song, Body Melt, Wonder Woman, Ice Cream Man, Christmas Evil, Dolomite, or my favorite, the Wisconsin Blood trilogy of Blood Beat, Blood Hook, and the upcoming Blood Harvest. Once again, be sure to visit them at www.vinegarsyndrome.com and grab yourself something cool. Let them know your good friend Michael sent you.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of The Shameless Picture Show. It's been a couple weeks probably since I've done an episode. Our last one was Miracle on 34th Street, where me and Nick sat down. I didn't want to leave you hanging completely until season 3 dropped, which should be within the next coming weeks. Tentative episode is the movie Slapshot, a hockey movie that I really appreciate. First thing you're going to notice is I think I've got the echo under control in terms of my podcast studio. The podcast studio is finally starting to get filled in a little bit more, but I just got off of work, so my voice is a little hoarse, and I apologize for that. You're also going to notice that there might be some background sound, more so than normal. My brother-in-law's in town, so him and my wife are downstairs playing Mario Kart right now, so if you hear occasional yelling or the sound of a Koopa shell, that is what that's coming from. So yes, our episode today is focused almost entirely on Vinegar Syndrome. My friends over at Vinegar Syndrome have been doing great work. They just wrapped up their most successful Black Friday sale to date. I know their big release this year was a movie by the name of Cutting Class, a classic Brad Pitt slasher film from the 80s. I own the film on VHS. I have not picked up yet a copy of it on Blu-ray. Yeah, I don't get everything from them for free. I do still buy stuff. That's how much I like this company. I still support them. And actually, one of the titles I'll be talking about today, I got both Blood Theater and The Visitants. The back of the box says, "From the deranged mind of director Rick Sloane, best known for his film Hobgoblins, comes Blood Theater and The Visitants. In Sloane's 1984 debut, Blood Theater, an old movie house in which a massacre occurred decades earlier, finally reopens only to be once again targeted by a bloodthirsty maniac intent on murdering anyone and everyone who makes the mistake of buying a ticket. Packed with low-rent bloodshed, Blood Theater exemplifies the no-budget aesthetic Sloane relished and features the one and only Mary Warrenov of Eden Raoul in a supporting role."
Welcome to a theater that's been closed for 50 years. Tickets are now available for opening night. But be warned, when the lights go down, the body count goes up.
I don't care if you're sick. You have to come in tonight. We're out of employees. I mean, right now. Hello?
Free vacation? What makes you think you deserve that?
Consider it my payment for not saying anything.
It's just one of the many added attractions of this theater. If you stay a little longer, you may get to see the feature presentation.
Every time that theater's been opened, someone's been killed in it.
The next time you scream in a theater, it may be for your life. Blood Theater, where butter isn't the only thing dripping on the popcorn. Blood Theater, starring Mary Warrenoff.
I don't have a whole lot to say about Blood Theater. It wasn't my favorite. I'm not a big Rick Sloane guy. I respect him. I respect a lot what he's done, because I get the impression watching his films and watching interviews with him that he's very much that filmmaker that I don't have a budget. Cool, I'll go out and make it. I don't have a finished script. Cool, I'll go out and make it. I don't have a crew. Cool, I'll go out and make it. And I respect that, because sometimes I wish I was more of that as a filmmaker. Sometimes I'm tied down by my own aesthetics. I'm tied down by my own wanting to create something amazing. But then you got guys who are like Rick Sloane, who just said, fuck it, I'm just going to go out and make a movie. And Blood Theater, he knew he had access to an old movie theater. He had some lights. He had a camera. He is the director. He is the cinematographer. He does everything on his films. And it's cool. Blood Theater, I loved the beginning of. I loved the classic 50s theater, I believe it starts in. His lighting, he uses very minimalist lighting. I believe I heard on the disc that he uses like a 3-light kit, and it shows. But I thought the lighting was really interesting. The music was really cool. Very repetitive, but cool. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So you got a massacre that happens in an old-timey movie theater during they're doing a stage performance, and it becomes a bloodbath. I believe there's fire involved. It's this crazy thing. And then it cuts to contemporary time, and I know he's kind of doing a spoof, and his characters are supposed to be over the top and kooky. I found them most of them be pretty annoying, and the slasher aspect of it is very strange too, because it honestly does not fit the tone of the film as much as I want it to be. This could have easily been a slasher film still, but more of a ghost story. The killer, it's just, it didn't work for me. Blood, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie that I think you're going to enjoy if you watch with a crowd. But the reason I love this set is because of his second film, The Visitants. Sloane's second feature effort, The Visitants, is set in the neon-colored 1950s and chronicles the hijinks which ensue following the theft of a ray gun by a teenage boy from his bizarre neighbors who just happen to be aliens who have embodied themselves within a sleepy suburban neighborhood.
Stardate 1950.
Have you found our location yet?
No. You should have stopped and asked for directions.
Highly intelligent beings in search of a new planet.
It's difficult and complicated to pronounce. What's the name of it again?
Earth.
They've become the perfect American couple.
You're becoming an Earth bitch.
But a nosy neighbor's discovered their out-of-this-world secret.
Oh, I see. They're not here legally.
Oh, you could say that.
They're aliens.
I didn't say that.
They've come to take over Earth Only Eric's taken their favorite weapon. To get it back, they'll hit him where it hurts.
We've taken his personal phone book. Mom, Dad.
Nothing quite like that has ever been here before.
I'd like you to meet my neighbors. You live in a strange neighborhood.
And after Halloween night,
Trick or treat.
suburbia will never be the same unless Eric and his friends can stop their not-so-friendly invasion.
Something's wrong. I can't explain it, but...
All right, sister. Your 3 minutes are up.
Could we all be doomed in the hands of these ruthless aliens?
The Earth will turn cold and frigid, just like our planet.
Just like our women.
It's madcap Martian mania in this wacky War of the Worlds spoof.
Do you speak English?
We're going to kill you.
You mastered the language very well.
The Visitants.
Hi there, neighbor. Say, would you like to borrow a cup of sugar?
There goes the neighborhood.
Barely since their brief theatrical run, Vinegar Syndrome presents the Blu-ray debuts of these off-the-wall, homegrown pieces of jaw-dropping mutant cinema, both newly restored from their 35mm camera negatives. So yeah, I just finished reading the back. The Visitants I like quite a bit. It starts off in the 50s, as it says, in like a drive-in, and it's kind of like spoofing the sci-fi genre. It's also stupidly funny. Sloane's sense of humor really shows through in this film, where our opening scene is in a spaceship and you have your two characters arguing like a married couple. It just felt so sitcom-y and brilliant, and the set designs, like, this is why Sloane is a genius. I will say, like, while I don't love his films, I think he's kind of a filmmaking genius in a way that he'll utilize whatever he can. So they had just finished shooting Michael Jackson's Captain EO music video ride for Disney at this set shortly before they Rick Sloane started shooting The Visitants. And he had a friend who worked there, and he's like, hey Rick, we have this entire set here if you want to come and shoot. So he's like, hell yeah. And they come and just steal the sets from Captain IO, and it adds production value. So he's like, I don't know how I'm going to shoot a spaceship, but this just fell into my lap. I'm going to go and do it. And I love that about him. And then it cuts to the 80s, and the movie gets really weird. It gets very trauma-esque. As Lloyd Kaufman likes to describe his films as, very trauma-esque, where it's over-the-top characters and over-the-top situations. It's all set within a California school, which is a lot of fun. Our lead character steals as it says, a ray gun from his neighbors, and he doesn't realize that they're aliens, hands it off to a science teacher to get information about it. It's just a wacky, crazy film. The music's really cool. I personally think this is my favorite of Rick Sloane's films, and it's the one that I want more people to see. It's very confidently directed, considering it doesn't have much of a budget. And it's the music is great. Like, I actually wrote on Letterboxd when I reviewed the film that had it ended 10 minutes earlier, it would have had one of the sickest synth score credit sequences ever. And let me play a little bit of that music for you right now.
We ruined their plans when we escaped. Their secrecy was too important. They're probably afraid that we warned everyone and we'll be ready for their attack.
What do you think happened to Professor Leveland?
I wish I knew.
Eric, you want me to come over tonight? I mean, with your parents out of town and all, I don't know if you should be alone.
Maybe. I'll call you later.
It's one Halloween I'll never forget.
So yeah, that music is great. So what happens is you have your main character, I think his name was Eric. He's walking away, camera's pulling out, that awesome score starts coming up. And then there's 10 minutes more left in the film. And it's down to the 10 minutes that happens is bad. It's just that would have been a great ending. That's how I would have cut the film. It reminds me a lot of my favorite of Lloyd Kaufman's film, or one of my favorite of Lloyd Kaufman films, Class of Nukem High, in terms of its production value, its acting, but it all feels so deliberately so. I haven't seen his Vice Academy movies. I believe that's what Rick Sloane's cop comedies are called. Let me double check. Vice Academy. I haven't seen any of those films. I've seen Hobgoblins. I've seen Blood Theater. And thus far, this is my favorite of Rick Sloane's films. I recommend everyone see it. If anyone wants to come over and do a movie night of the Visitants, hell, I'll even double feature both Blood Theater and the Visitants. Give me a call. Me and Amanda will have you over. So, as always, Vinegar Syndrome does a great job of stacking their releases filled with stuff. So special features, as I said before, newly scanned and restored in 2K from their 35mm camera negatives. Bonus feature film, The Visitants, which I've already talked about. Commentary track with Rick Sloane on Blood Theater and The Visitants. Rick Sloane's great in these commentaries. He's very down to earth. He seems like he's not one of those guys that made some not so good movies and thinks he's a great filmmaker that no one's understood or discovered. He knows the films he's made aren't that great. And he also knows what he's been tied down with.
One of the drive up and park shots, I do a lot. That and enter and exit through doorways. I never really learned moving camera. It's not that I didn't learn it. It requires a crew. It requires a lot more lights than we ever had. You need someone to pull that dolly. You need to be able to afford a dolly. You need to have a real focus puller. These things didn't exist. I had no budget, no crew. So, that whole just park the camera and set the actors in front of it and just let them go. It was kind of a necessity in a lot of these movies. And particularly by the later Vice Academies, we're shooting those things faster and faster. Kind of became a style that I'm known for as well.
Yeah, he knows the type of films he's making and is very down to earth. He's also a wealth of information. He's the first one to be like, oh yeah, I stole that shot. I did this with this. I only had so many lights for this, but this is how I accomplished this. He's kind of a king of low budget cinema. And if I could ever take a filmmaking class with him, I would love to, just because there's the Robert Rodriguez way of filmmaking where if you can't afford to make a sci-fi action film, don't make a sci-fi action film. Use what you have. And then there's the Rick Sloane effect of like, well, I don't have the money to make a really good sci-fi action film, but I could still make a sci-fi action film. So, yeah. Also on here is an ensemble intro from a screening at the New Beverly Cinema in Los Angeles that features Rick Sloane, Mary Warrenov from Blood Theater, Marcus Wachter of The Visitants, and Jordana Capra of The Visitants. Also featured in here is, well, I want to call her a friend of mine. I've never actually met her or have I really had many conversations with her, but Julia Marchese makes an appearance in this, which is kind of cool. She made a really fantastic documentary called Out of Print, which is about the New Beverly Cinema. Also a podcaster. I'm sorry, Julia, if you are listening to this. I cannot remember the name of your show at the moment, but no, she's wonderful, and yeah, she makes an appearance in that. So that was kind of exciting for me. There's also a Blood Theater post-film Q&A with Rick Sloane and Mary Warrenov, a commentary track for Blood Theater with The Hysteria Continues. I've talked about how much I enjoy them on previous releases. Reversible cover for The Visitants, English subtitles. Yeah. This movie is Blood Theater is okay. I personally really enjoy The Visitants, so this is definitely worth a purchase for that alone. Next up, another movie that came out of nowhere for me from 1984, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. A mysterious and invisible alien presence has landed in rural Texas and has started turning the nearby townspeople into white-faced, bloodthirsty killers. As the local authorities begin to investigate the strange and violent goings-on, a photographer and his girlfriend find themselves trapped in the midst of an unexpected rural bloodbath, which seeks to turn them into another pair of bloodsuckers from outer space. A low-budget, low-rent horror comedy from writer-director Glen Coburn, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space is a gory and silly slice of homemade regional genre filmmaking. Vinegar Syndrome presents the Blu-ray debut of this straight-to-video classic, freshly restored from its 16mm negative and filled with a whole host of newly created special features.
Don't know what's happening in my town. Seems everybody's changed. All of the people that I thought I knew.
It's the bloodiest mess I've ever seen.
That's totally disgusting.
They've both been sucked. Oh yeah, you mean like some kind of pervert or sex fiend?
Bloodsuckers from outer space.
Thus far, I think this is actually my favorite film out of the stack I've got. And this is the film that, for me, has got the Shameless Picture Show seal of approval that I think everyone should go out and pick up. This film was hysterically funny for me. Some more than I thought it was going to be, because I'll be the first to admit I was actually pushing this film off for a little bit because I did not know what to expect from it. Based on the cover and the title, I was expecting a Redneck Zombies ripoff, and I like Redneck Zombies. I actually really do, but I just was not in the mood for that type of film. What I got though was a very funny, well written. I don't like to keep using the term spoof, but regional horror sci-fi spoof of what these films are normally like. So it's got the similar plot set up to, say, like a 1950s sci-fi movie, with like these scientists that are causing this zombie virus. It's kind of got this outer space thing going. The plot's not really important. I'll be the first to admit that if someone would be like, hey, what's Bloodsuckers from Outer Space about? I don't know. But it's so much fun to watch. And a big part of the reason is the actors in the film are super naturalistic and a lot of fun. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information on any of the actors, but the lead guy, Tom Myers, is fantastic. He is given some of the most ridiculous lines of dialogue that I can think of, and he constantly delivers them with finesse, for lack of a better term. I was actually texting a couple friends of mine about this movie as I was watching it, and I've got a friend named Emma who occasionally listens to the show, and I was just flat out sending her clips and quotes from the movie. So like there's a weird line early on in the film where a cop is talking to our lead character who is a reporter, and they're going back and forth about how he's a reporter and he can't be trusted, yada yada yada. And eventually they opens up and the cops and the reporter says this great line, "Now what happened here?" And the cop goes, "They've been sucked." And the reporter's like, "Oh, you mean like some pervert or sex fiend?" "No, their blood has been sucked." And just the way he delivers it is fantastic. It's also very self-referential, where there's a scene later on in the film where they're walking down a hallway and some eerie music's playing, and the lead character goes, "Damn, that incidental music is creepy." So, I don't know. He's also got an uncle that I really love.
Jeff, I want to jump into this head first.
Jump?
I need to talk to you about your future, son.
Listen, we have this talk all the time. I'm not your son. My name is Jeff. My parents are dead.
Ever since your parents died, I have felt responsible for you. Your father was like a brother to me.
My father was your brother.
Well, I guess that explains it then.
So what do you want me to do now?
Now, son, you can't go around taking pictures for that sorry excuse of a newspaper all your life.
Uncle Joe, I'm an artist. I'm doing what I have to do.
When are you going to learn that art is shit? Nobody understands it. I should have never bought you that Instamatic camera when you were 6 years old.
Well, I wish you could understand, but obviously you can't, so...
So just keep your seat. I haven't told you what I want to tell you yet. I want you to come to work for me.
Plowing fields and milking cows just isn't for me. I could never express myself doing those things.
Express yourself? I thought that was something you'd outgrow. Now, son, someday all this could be yours. This house, the land, the cow.
What about the parabolic dish? You gonna throw that in too?
I don't think you understand. You either go to work for me, or you lose your inheritance.
I don't know. It's great. The effects are cheesy. I like. My friend Emma said it best, that she's like, I was actually really engaged in one of the clips until I saw how bad the makeup was. Yeah, this movie tickled my funny bone. It had some great music, and I'm a sucker for regional filmmaking anyways, which is probably the reason I keep going back to Rick Sloane's work, even though he's not my favorite. Super funny, very bloody, surprisingly well acted. Yeah, this is my top choice. If you're going to buy any film that I talk about tonight, have it be Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. And I'll try to throw a couple clips in for you just because it's too good not to. Special features on this disc are, as I said before, a newly scanned and restored in 2K from 16mm negative elements. There's a commentary track of writer-director Glen Coburn, actor Tom Myers, and cinematographer Chad D. Smith. I still need to check that out because that sounds like it'd be fun. 34 years later, a 15-minute making-of documentary. Back to Bloodsucker Town, a 15-minute location featurette. Bloody Arm Rip 101 special effects feature. Still galleries featuring over 100 images from the director's personal collection, reversal cover art, and English subtitles. Forgot to mention both this and Blood Theater are in mono, but they surprisingly, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space had really good sound quality for being mono. I was pleasantly surprised. I have not gotten the chance to watch as many features on here as I'd like to, but I really want to get to it because Glen Coburn seems like he's a hoot. He doesn't seem like crazy or weird or anything at all. He just seems like he reminds me of myself, where he's a filmmaker that really wanted to make something and didn't start off his career, but he's proud of what he did. So, and finally, a movie I actually spent my hard-earned money on during Vinegar Syndrome's Black Friday sale, Jack Frost. On his way to be executed, the vehicle containing notorious serial killer Jack Frost collides with a hazardous chemical truck, turning Jack into a snow-covered mutant and unleashing him on the unsuspecting town of Snowmanton, the snowman capital of the Midwest. Jack immediately takes advantage of his newfound freedom and blizzardly abilities to seek revenge on the bungling sheriff, played by Christopher Alpert, best known for To Live and Die in L.A., that accidentally ended his cross-country killing spree. On his way to the sheriff, Jack terrorizes the snowman-themed town and murders its residents in a variety of winterized ways. Can the residents of Snowmanton fight back against the psychopath snowman from hell, or will they end up in a snow-covered grave? Co-starring the beautiful Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie in one of her most infamous and revealing roles, and featuring colorful cinematography by Dean Wendt from Border Radio. Director Michael Cooney's staple of video stores and late-night TV is a gleefully gory horror comedy and is coming to Blu-ray for the first time, fully restored in 2K from Vinegar Syndrome.
One cold night, science and evil collide. Oh, yeah. Now, a serial killer is on the loose.
We hadn't even tested the acid on an amoeba, let alone a human cell. This is a disaster.
Look, I just saw something that doesn't belong in this world, and it's out there killing my friends. Now tell me what it is.
Jack Frost.
I think Jack's about to make an entrance. And he's giving cold-blooded a whole new meaning.
Hey, Jack! What? You left the 7-10 split.
Hell has just frozen over. Blow me. Jack Frost.
Look, Ma! I'm a Picasso!
Christmas is my favorite holiday. I'm a sucker for Christmas Christmas movies, and I'm a sucker for Christmas horror movies. There's not a whole lot of good ones, but that being said, I will watch anything that's Christmas and horror. This is a film I've known about for a long time. I've seen the box art. I've seen bits and pieces of the film. It's just a movie I never got around to. It's a lot of fun. It's a very stupidly fun movie. It's not a very good movie. But like, say things like this is a movie that if people are coming over, I'll be like, hey, let's watch Jack Frost, because it's going to be a lot of fun to watch with people. But it's not like Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night, where it's like I have this urge to return to it year in and year out. But no, I definitely did enjoy it. The snowman kills are super creative. The practical effects, while kind of goofy, are also kind of great. And there's a really goofy Twin Peaks vibe throughout the movie that I also appreciated, where it's like it just makes me wish that David Lynch would have directed this instead. Like, it'd be a lot weirder. Or maybe someone can recut it to be more Twin Peaks like. I think that'd be pretty great. I also appreciated that the snowman he reminded me a lot of Chucky. And the two plots for both Chucky, Child's Play and Jack Frost, are so similar that I think they'd be a great feature. Just like I think you could do a triple feature of all three Jack Frosts. You could have this film. You could have the claymation Jack Frost from like the 70s, and it ended all with the Michael Keaton Jack Frost, which came out the year after this one. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there that love this movie. I liked this movie. I didn't love it, but me and Amanda had a fantastic time watching it. Set some great setups, and while I could tell that they shot the movie in California, they really tried to make it feel wintry and cold. Granted, sometimes their fake snow they laid down looked just like blankets being laid down, but I appreciate that they tried, because other films just say, oh, well, it didn't snow. And I'd rather see bad snow than no snow at all. But, that's just me. So yeah, Jack Frost is a fun title. Maybe not my favorite. Definitely Bloodsuckers from Outer Space is definitely my favorite. On the disc, they got it's scanned and restored in 2K from the 35mm vault elements. It's got a commentary track with director Michael Cooney, which I would be legitimately interested to hear, because I'd love to hear like what his influences are, because the film is surprisingly confidently directed. It's very well directed. It's really well shot. It's got a nice sound design. It's got a video introduction of director Michael Cooney. Oh, also forgot to mention earlier that the credit sequence for this film is great. I will say that. It's got a video interview with lead actor Scott McDonald, video interview of director of photography Dean Wendt, cover artwork by Chris Garofalo, reversible cover art, English subtitles. Surprisingly, they got a DTS HD 5.1 sound mix on this. I sometimes forget that Vinegar Syndrome does anything but mono, because most of the releases, since they're so small, just come out in mono. But yeah, this movie sounds fantastic. I will say it really played well in my speakers. So yeah, out of the stack I've got, once again, that was Blood Theater with The Visitants, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space, and Jack Frost. Bloodsuckers from Outer Space is my number one. Blood Theater with The Visitants is my number two, simply because The Visitants is great, and Jack Frost would be my third pick. Thank you all for listening, guys. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a rating, give me a rating and a review on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. That'd be great. And also show some love towards my sponsors. Go to www.vinegarsyndrome.com and buy some cool shit. They're releasing a lot of good stuff, and I think this year is going to be huge. I don't know why. They have not told me anything. I don't have any inside information. I feel it in my bones that this year is going to be huge. So, thank you all for listening. I know these solo episodes are sometimes a little more low rent, and it's just me talking, and they're a little quicker, but I enjoy doing them. And I'll be having a Mill Creek episode coming up soon, where I'll be talking about a couple of their titles. So, as always, guys, keep buying movies, keep watching movies, keep enjoying movies. Blu-rays need to keep existing, DVDs need to keep existing, and they bring me a lot of joy, and they must bring you a lot of joy too if you're listening to me talk about them. So, yeah. Find me on Instagram at Michael_Viers. The show is on Instagram at Shameless Picture Show. Rate, review, subscribe, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.